Well, we're here at the hangar, the home, the training base of Western United for this season, and it is a beautiful day for a beautiful occasion. We've spoken to so many different people at the club this season on the green room at so many different levels, but the one person who's eluded us all year we finally get the chance to chat to, and it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by the man himself, head coach of Western United Football Club, John Aloisi, ahead of the finals campaign. John, an absolute pleasure to have you on today. It's been a long time waiting for us.
Thanks for having me on. I don't know how I've eluded you because I never got asked. I don't think anyway.
Well, it's been the one question on every fan, every viewer of the program. Yeah. We're loving who we're speaking to, but we need John. We finally got you.
Okay, good.
That's perfect. But obviously we're on the eve of the start of the finals campaign for Western United this weekend. But we're going to do a little bit of a look at the actual regular season as well to begin with. And I think it's only right that we go right back to the start, even before a ball was kicked in competitive football. Obviously, new job for you, Western United coming off the back of a 10th place finish, difficult morale. You were thrown into a difficult environment, but from there, you've been able to turn things around. Highest points finish ever for Western United, highest finish ever, most wins in a season, longest undefeated run. Back at that time though, right at the very start, did you think those were going to be the kind of accolades that you pulled together with this squad this season?
Well, you don't think about what you can achieve. You just you look at the squad, you look at what you need, you look at the environment. Why were people so down? What was the culture like within the club? What were the positives, from last season and the season before? Because even though they lost 8 in a row and it was a bad finish and they had a bad season in total, that you have to look at, okay, so what kind of players and group have we got? And straight away I looked at some of the younger players and some of the talent that we have and what we can do, what will be our strengths playing wise, and how we can fix our sort of system to help the players. And then you start talking about the way that we want to be as a club and as a team. And so there was a lot of things going on in my mind before I arrived, because you want to make sure that as soon as you set foot into the club, the players know where they stand. So you set your behavioural guidelines, your values of what we stand for as a club. As a team, and then your tactical guidelines, and you just work with that every single day, and you just drive that every single day, and that's what we've done from the start. So, with the support of everyone at the club, it's been a great journey, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
And throughout this season, everyone we've spoken to, the one consistent thread of sort of praise that players have given is the standard of the culture in the dressing room. What a positive environment it's been to be around for new players coming in and for pre-existing players who experienced the atmosphere last year. As a manager, what's been the secret to cultivating an environment where people really are so positive and are going out of their way to praise the working environment they've got to come to every week?
As a player, I felt that I played and trained at my best when I enjoyed coming to training, enjoyed the environment, and it starts from the top. So if you coming in miserable, or you coming in and being negative, then the players will be negative. And so it's important, and I feel it's important that you come in. Yeah, there'll be times that you need to make sure that the players understand where they are at, playing wise or training wise, but it's important that you're positive and showing them why this will work and how it does work, and praising them at the right times. And so again, it was very quickly that if someone did something good in training, was praising why that was good for not only as an individual but as a team, as a collective. Players that haven't been starting, Ryan Scott is the biggest driver of that culture in the change room, and showing the players why. They see it, but showing that I see it, that the other coaches see it. He's the first one collecting the drink bottles, after a game, and cleaning up, and that means a lot, not only to myself but to the club. So that's why I think that players really enjoy the environment, because they know that it means a lot not only to them but also to us. And I know that each player believes they're coming to training not only to improve, try and win, but also because they want to be around their teammates, and that's special. When you can create that, that's really special.
And especially in an environment or in an A-League men's competition where things are so tight, those small 1%ers, those intangibles like a great dressing room environment do make such a big difference. And I imagine it's a big part of why you guys have ended up where you are in the table, obviously finishing the regular season in third place. Throughout that stretch though, what are some of the best moments of the regular season that stick out to you both on and off the pitch?
It's difficult to say what are the best moments. Off the pitch, it was just seeing the players how they were wanting to listen and learn and wanting to improve, and that's the most pleasing as a coach. When you got players that are really buying into what you're trying to work on, you can't ask for any more than that. The results can come and go, but when players are really believing in what you're doing, that will help. And then there's so many moments that I've been proud of them because we've had it tough, but they don't look for an excuse, and then we don't look for excuses. It's easy to say, we haven't had a home stadium and we had 5 different stadiums that we played out of. It's easy to say that in the pre-season, where we were training, the pitch wasn't at a good quality, but that they didn't let that get in their way. And we went through tough periods with certain individuals being out, players not being available, COVID situation. And I think the proudest moment I had was when we played against Melbourne Victory and we lost the game. But it was Boxing Day and we had so many players out and they had pretty much their full strength team. And we went down 2-0 pretty quickly, but the players didn't stop. And I said to them after a game that's the line in the stand. That shows who we are. And we didn't win, but I felt that's when we were on the right track of getting results, in the future and being able to compete. And so that was one of the moments that I'm always angry when we lose, but I was proud of the group.
And obviously not long after that there was a win over the ladder leaders in Melbourne City, so clearly that line in the sand has pushed you on to bigger and better things, and that brings us towards the final series. Obviously a massive game coming up this weekend against Wellington, a team against whom historically the Western have had a little bit of difficulty. Obviously we remember, but we won't go into detail about the most recent result against them in Ballarat. Is there anything that you take out of that game, lessons from the 4-1 result that you can bring into the fixture this Saturday? What was the biggest learning from that particular game?
Know that you could dominate Wellington, and we started the game really well. I think the first 20 minutes they hadn't even got into our half. But we always have to be switched on against them and make sure that we're always ready, because they might have one long ball and then they're away. And so the players, and it would be silly not to bring up certain things about that game, because the next game we had a great reaction. I think the next game was against Perth and we beat them 6-0. And so I know the players will be ready. I know the players will be switched on. I know it's finals, and this is where your bigger players will step up even more, and we've got quite a few of them. So we're excited about it. We're excited that it's Wellington, because we know that we can perform a lot better than what we did that time in Ballarat. We believe we will get the result that we want, and we're back at Amy Park, and we've been really strong at Amy Park all season. So we're looking forward to this one.
Is Wellington in a way almost the ideal opponent to start things off with, in the sense that it's a team against you have maybe struggled in the past or not gotten the results you wanted? So at home against them, home faithful behind you as well. It feels like it's almost the perfect opponent to get that statement win and say, like, this is exactly what we're capable of and we can build from here all the way.
Look, it's difficult to say which team, if someone said to me, which team would you want in the finals, and it would be like, we don't really care, because we believe we can beat anyone, and we've proven that we can. And so, look, Wellington will throw up their difficulties that we'll face against them, but whoever we're going to play against, we we believe we're going to be ready, and that we'll be able to get the result. And then from there, who knows what can happen. I know, it would be Melbourne victory if we do get a win against Wellington, but we don't want to think about that just yet because we've got the Wellington game to worry about.
And you've obviously been, as a manager, involved in a couple of finals campaigns in the A-League men's, semi-final, elimination final. What do you take from those previous experiences, both for yourself as a coach and lessons to give to the rest of the playing group for what's to come?
Yeah, I've involved a few times as a player and then also as a coach. And the ones I'm pretty sure as a player, each time we played at home, we got the result we wanted. And each time as a coach, when I coached at home, we got the result we wanted. So I'm hoping that's an omen because we're playing all our games at home if we get through this first one. So finals are different.
Yeah.
Finals are different. You don't need to win in the first minute because so many things can happen. There's a lot of twists and turns. That's why it's finals, because ultimately they can only be, it's knockout the first game. I've been involved as a coach in those knockout first games. Once against Victory, we were 1-0 down with, I think it was about 30 seconds to go, and we scored the equaliser. Then from the kickoff we got another goal and we won 2-1. And then against Wanderers on penalties we got that win. And then one of the years that we played against the Wanderers in Parramatta, and we were 3-0 up and we ended up losing 5-4 in extra time. That's finals, so you just don't know what's going to happen. You just have to try and keep everyone as calm as possible, focus on the process and our structures, and normally they're tight games, and so we have to make sure that we're ready from the first to the last minute.
It's energizing just hearing you talk about it. The finals fever, you can understand how it catches so easily, and as you said, the fans will be able to get to all the finals you attend, because the strength of the Victorian clubs this season, that's almost a silver lining, is all those games will potentially be available to you in Melbourne. The other interesting thing though about a final series is that, be it one leg or two, there can't be a draw, which means there may come a time where there's a penalty shootout for your players, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to throw another coin in the jar if someone brought up the penalty.
Yeah.
But is that something that you're going to work into the training pitch? Is it something you're going to give advice to your players about when the time comes?
Yeah, whenever we like to do five-a-sides and it's a draw, I get them to do penalties after, because it's good just through the season, that we want a winner at the end, and also just to practice penalties. So we've got an idea of who our stronger penalty takers are. And then again, it's just to remain calm during that situation, because it can be it's a pressurised moment. But if the players remain calm and think about the process of taking a penalty or how they've taken it in training, so there'll be times this week that will probably players will be taking penalties, and then they're ready for the moment. I've only experienced it once as a coach, so thankfully we got out on top that day. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the individuals and how calm they remain during that period.
And a final one for you, John. Obviously, we're all hoping that Western can take it all the way to the final game, and maybe even further than that. But the sole focus at the moment is on this elimination final this weekend, 7:45 p.m. against Wellington Phoenix. I'm going to leave you with the final word. What's your message to the Western fans ahead of this massive, massive game for the club?
Yeah, to get out there and enjoy it. It's a massive game for everyone involved. It's the first time Western United are having a home final, because obviously the last time they were in the finals it was in a hub. So it's an experience like no other. Finals football is the best, and we all love it. That's why we've still got finals football. That's why it means so much, because everyone remembers who won the grand final. So the season has been a great one. We've enjoyed it. We've been top 2, 3 the whole season, but it's all about the finals, and we can't wait for it. So come out and support and make sure that you help us over the line, because it does. It makes a big difference to our supporters. They can help us over the line.
It's another chance for yourself and the Western squad to write themselves into the history books of of this club, and I'm sure we'll all be watching very, very keenly on Saturday. John, thank you so much for joining us on the Green Room. Pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks for having me on.